Hello, and in this video we're going to be talking about the cult creeds. Before we begin though, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please grab your rending claw and please hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that you never miss an upload. So here it says insurrection. This is basically the bit where it tells you about the cult creeds. Here we say, so again, I can't remember if you've seen this, which order you've seen the videos in, but I've made a couple today even. Anyway, we'll crack on. So I don't know whether you've seen parts of these rules. Anyway, if your army is battle forged, great start, Nicholas. All troop units in Genestealer cults and Brood Brothers detachments defined below gain the insurrectionist's ability, and all Genestealer cults detachments gain the cult creed ability. This basically tells you that you've got objectives secured. Again, you can read it at your own leisure if you want to pause it. Cult creeds. All cult infantry and biker units with this ability gain cult creeds, so long as every unit in the detachment is from the same cult. Cult creeds gained depends upon the cult they are drawn from, as shown in the page opposite. For example, Rusted Claw. Unit with a cult creed gains the Nomadic Survivalist's cult creed. If you have chosen a cult that does not have an associated cult creed, you can choose the creed that best suits the fighting style and strategies of cultists that hail from it. Note that due to their purely Xenos nature and physiology, Genestealer units are an exception and do not gain the cult creed. Brood Brothers. Several Genestealer cult units also have the Brood Brothers keyword. These can be included in Genestealer cult detachment without preventing other units from that detachment from gaining the cult creed. Note, however, that Brood Brothers units do not themselves benefit from any cult creed. In addition, to represent Astra Militarum forces that have been subverted, you can include Astra Militarum units and Genestealer cults units in the same matched play army. So it says army, but not detachments. Even though these units do not have any faction keywords in common, in such cases, ignore the Astra Militarum units when just choosing your army's factions. So you can have a detachment of, we'll call them, you can have a Baneblade in a detachment, but you can, and you can have Genestealer, Neophytes and all the rest of it, have a patrol detachment for them, and you don't, and you can still do it. It says, if your army is battle forged, you can only include one Astra Militarum detachment for one in which every unit has the Astra Militarum keyword in your army for each Genestealer colour detachment in your army. So if you want one Baneblade, you've got to have at least one patrol detachment or something along the lines from Genestealer cults. You cannot include Astra Militarum named characters in these detachments, and detachments cannot be specialist detachments. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what the specialist detachment means. These, we'll have to overlook, maybe, at a later date. These Astra Militarum detachments are then known as Brood Brothers detachments, and every unit that has regiment or regiment Militarum Tempestus keyword must replace it in every instance on the datasheet with Brood Brothers. If the unit does not have either of these keywords, it simply gains Brood Brothers keyword. Okay. Brood Brothers detachments do not gain any of the detachment abilities listed in Codex Astra Militarum. So detachments would be detachment abilities. So that would mean they wouldn't be able to get the objective secured effectively, and you wouldn't. So such as regimental doctrines, nor can they use any regiment-specific stratagems or regiment-specific orders. So you can still give them orders. They still shoot pretty good, but they cannot get regiment-specific ones. Furthermore, infantry models in Brood Brothers detachments increase their leadership characteristic by 1 and gain the unquestioning loyalty ability. That's good. Units in Brood Brothers detachment do not gain cult ambush ability. in a Brood Brother detachment. So your standard Brood Brothers infantry squad does get it, but the other guys don't, okay? And you cannot give any relics to Brood Brothers characters. In addition, command benefits of all Brood Brothers detachments, including your army, in this way are halved, rounding up. This reflects that such detachments are not a Genestealer cult's primary fighting force, and the acquisition of such military assets is costly in terms of resource. So before we've even got to thinking that's quite wordy, but principally what that's saying is you could have an Astral Militarum army, but you won't be able to use them as Valhallans or Catachans. You could still give them orders, but they won't be able to get anything. And let's say you went for the Loyal 32, you would only get, says half rounding up, so you'd get 3 command points instead of 5 for the Loyal 32. The Loyal 32, just so if you don't know, is basically 3 infantry squads and 2 company commanders to basically farm your command points. So you'd only get 3 instead of 5, but that's fine. Here we go, Cult Creeds. The Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, Subterranean Ambushers. Until the end of the first battle round, add 1 to advance and charge rolls for units with this cult creed. Starting from the second battle round, if a unit with this cult creed set up on the battlefield, until the end of that turn, then add 1 to advance and charge rolls. So basically it means it's better for combat armies, but again, this is minuscule in my opinion. It probably does have a bigger effect, and I'm maybe just underwhelmed by it, but I think that's really pants, in my opinion. The Pauper Princes, Devoted Zealots. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit with this cult creed in a turn in which their charged move, made a charge move, was charged, or performed a heroic thingy. That's actually really good. So the Pauper Princes are really good in combat. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks made. Yeah. So any melee, and in combat, these guys are actually better than them. They're really pants, I think. And I think that was really ill thought out. But maybe I'm wrong. Hive Cults. Disciplined Militants. If a unit with this cult creed fails a morale test, halve the number of models that flee, rounding up. So that is basically the Hive Cult is the Valhallans of the cult. In addition, units with this cult creed can still shoot in a turn in which they fall back, but if they do so, they must subtract 1 from their hit rolls in the shooting phase. So that's good as well. So it's like a mix between that and the, I want to say the Black Legion, but I might be wrong, or the Ultramarines. So that's kind of interesting, but I like it because it means even if you fail, so if you've got a 20-man squad or Brood Brothers, which we might have covered already, they have a leadership of 7 or 8. You get to reroll the failed one, and if you do, you half the amount that actually flee. That's pretty good. I like it. So the 2 favourites, before I've read the rest of them, probably the Pauper Princes for combat, and these guys for just general bubble wrap. Bladed Cog. All models with a creed have a 6+ invulnerable save. Models with a cult creed that already have an invulnerable save are improved by 1 to a maximum of 3+. In addition, infantry models with this cult creed do not suffer a penalty to their hit rolls for moving and shooting heavy weapons. So this is kind of strange because it's like a mix of 2 different codexes. So we've got the invulnerable save from the Death Skulls from Orcs, and the do not have the negative for moving and firing heavy weapons that you get for Talan, but obviously I don't think that would count for the Lean Rust because they would be Brood Brothers, wouldn't they? The Rusted Claw. Making saving throws, excluding invulnerable saving throws. So standard saving throw for a model with a cult creed, add 1 to the result if the weapon being used to make the attack has an armor penetration of a 0 or a -1. In addition, biker models with this cult creed do not suffer penalty for making a hit rolls for moving and shooting heavy weapons or for advancing and shooting assault weapons. So this one's really good. Novadic. It says, love you too. Shut up. It says, when making saving throws, excluding vulnerable saves, yeah, so you basically add 1. So if you've got a standard Brood Brother or a Neophyte who's got a 5-up save, and you roll a 4, you can add 1 to it if it's either a 0 damage or arm penetration of 0 or -1. That's really good. But the other thing that's really good is biker models of this cult. So this makes your bikers like the Talan. So you would get your Atalan Jackals, and they wouldn't get a -1 for their, and the Wolf, Wolf Quad would also not get a -1. So that would make them really good at shooting. I like it, and they can advance and not get a negative for shooting. And assault weapons, really good. Actually, really good. I don't know which one I'm more torn between. Anyway, shut up. Let's do this one. Twisted Helix. Add 1 to strength characteristic of models in this cult creed. In addition, add 2 to the advance rolls for a unit with this cult creed. So, immediately, this one's quite good. So, your standard Neophytes are going to be wounded on 3s against Space Marines instead of, on 4s instead of 5s. So, they're really good. And you get 2 to the advance rolls for this creed. But why would you... You only add 1 to it on that one. Why would you pick that? Never pick this one, right? So unless I'm being stupid, right? Unless I'm being utterly ridiculous and there's some other thing that I'm missing, why would you ever pick add 1 to the advance rolls and charge maybe versus 2 to the advance rolls? I think that was really pants. If I'm honest, I think that was really pants. Favourites, probably ones I'll play with. Who knows? I'll probably lean towards maybe this one, because everyone's going to have an invulnerable save at least a 6+. And I don't know, actually. That's that one, isn't it? That's pretty good, actually. I honestly don't know. I am torn. I'm going to have a good think about that. We'll have a look at stratagems at a later date. We'll probably pick a creed, a cult creed, and we'll have a look at that. Tell me what you think, which one you would go for. I'm going to do a quick thing is you can do a screenshot, boom, and boom. So tell me what you think you'd go for. I'm really torn, but I know I'm definitely not going to go for that one unless there's something I'm missing and I've read it wrong. But I think that's really pants, if I'm honest. I'm not being mean. Yeah, let me know what you think. I've already said that. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much for watching and sticking with me to the end of this video. And as ever, I will see you again.